Julia Budd after her victory tonight. And Curtis, if you want to kick us off?
Sure,
we'll
absolutely.
Start there and just let me know if you want to go next.
Absolutely.
We'll line it up.
Well, Julia, congrats on the win. Obviously, it was a great fight from start to finish. What's going on through your mind right now, and overall thoughts on your performance?
Well, I'm happy to come out with a W. Obviously, super grateful. I had an amazing training camp. I trained at Fight Ready in Arizona and Gibson MMA. I'm grateful for all my training partners and my coaches down there. We worked so hard. So that's kind of what pulled me through that first round, because I got hurt in the first round, and then I think just the grind of that camp, kind of like I came back and was able to win the second and third. So I'm proud of my performance, but obviously disappointed I didn't get a 6-point finish in the first round. So.
Talk to me a little bit about what are some of the biggest differences in terms of improvements that you made from the first fight this season to this fight? Because obviously, leg strikes were a really big part of the game plan tonight, and want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I'm working with Eddie Shaw at Fight Ready, and we were drilling those low kicks. So I felt confident there, but obviously, it was getting my groove, my rhythm back, kind of it's been a tough. 3 losses. I haven't had that in my career before. So it came from last year, broken orbital, to then losing that split decision to Aspen, to then losing that fight against Pacheco. And I felt like I won both those fights. So I was pissed, but I went right back to the drawing board and kept working, kept grinding, and that's how I got that W tonight. So
give us some insight. Final question for me too. Give us some insight in terms of what it's like working down there at Fight Ready. Obviously it's a team that's been getting a lot of love, especially over the past year. Give us some insight on that.
Yeah, well, me, Lance Gibson, senior and junior, we just felt like it was the right place to go, and we started commuting down, driving down from Canada with our dogs, the whole crew coming down, and just training with them. I couldn't say enough good things. It is a grind, and it's uncomfortable, and you just get comfortable in those uncomfortable situations because there's so many good people on the mat to push you. And I had to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I've been training at home and I got a little comfortable, and I was like, I need to push that next level and get better if I want to keep doing this. So that's what I did.
Thank you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Julia, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
It seemed like there for a minute Martina wanted to stand and bang with you, and then the more you walked her down, she seemed to kind of have a different strategy. Was that kind of what you thought she would give you?
Yeah, well, I thought she was going to want to kickbox, and kind of what I saw in the first round, but then I know I heard her in the third with the, I think, overhand right. We were drilling a lot, and it just, she didn't really want to after, and she was kind of playing that game of just, I was a bit out of my distance and stuff, but I started feeling a little bit better as the fight went on, and yeah, found my range.
Just, overall, what are your impressions of her? I don't know if it's the first time you fought or not, but, overall impressions of her and her fight style.
She's great. I knew she was going to be a tough opponent. I know she's got a ton of Muay Thai experience, and I know that was just sometimes you get caught in this game, obviously, with that head kick knockout last time. But I'm focused on myself, and I'm mad I didn't get the finish tonight. But obviously, she's a great opponent. So.
And the last question for me: what is being in the PFL, being a part of this? What does that mean to you?
I want to be the PFL champion. So that's kind of I don't wish injury on anyone, but I hope that I'm that, that person that's standing in the wings that gets called up in the next fight in August or the finals, whatever it is. I just want to be that there, because I know my 3 points isn't going to get me into it, but I'm ready.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Over here in the middle.
Julia, you mentioned the 3 tough losses before this one. When you are in such a close fight and you hear your name called at the end of the fight, what are the emotions like, and is it like a weight off the shoulders to get back in the win column?
Yeah, obviously. We worked so hard, so I was just I was super grateful. And obviously when you're in the fight and it goes to the judges, you never know what's going to happen. So I was just hoping that I did enough, and I know I did enough, and yeah, so it was great hearing my name called at the end of that fight.
And obviously last weekend we saw the UFC go back to Canada. We saw a perfect run from the Canadians. You get the win now. What makes fighting a Canadian so tough?
Well, I mean, we're a tough country, and I think that obviously it's been a long time since the UFC was in BC, and we showed that it's got to come back. It was so exciting, and seeing all those guys from Canada do so good, it was super motivating for this one. So
Thanks so much.
yeah.
Kate, say?
Yeah. Julia, on that quick note, being from Canada, there is that thing, oh, one of the nicest countries ever. You used to get into some fights, growing up. I mean, I think people are like, wait, Julia, she's so nice now, she's Canadian. How are you getting into fights?
I don't know. I've been fighting my whole life. I love it. It's been obviously finding martial arts was like the best thing that ever happened to me, and yeah, I'm tough.
Being former Bellator featherweight champion, obviously people have you, top two, if not top three, the last several years at featherweight. Has this skid that you were on previously been frustrating because it's like, hey, I haven't been able to defend that position. I feel like I'm not showing, living up to that potential.
Yeah, totally. I was pissed, but obviously being pissed off, it's that's what can you do with it, right? And I just got in the gym and I got better, and now I'm winning again. So I can't say enough. Be grateful enough. So.
Can you put into words what it would mean to you to add, another major title, arguably the other biggest major title for women's featherweights?
Yeah. Like it would be, obviously it's a huge goal, and it would be a massive accomplishment, and to be a two kind of, to win the PFL belt after being the Bellator champion would be huge. So.
All right, Undisputed, and then over here to the left.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm George Kimbrough with the Undisputed World of MMA.
Hi.
You really asserted your dominance out there against her. You walked her down. You were able to land some good strikes. Do you feel like after this performance, was this a statement to the rest of the division, like, hey, don't forget about me. Like, I'm Julia Budd. I'm still one of the best ever to do it in MMA. Like, I'm here. Do you feel like you made that statement tonight?
I do. I always want more from myself, obviously, my performances. So I'm happy, but I've got that chip on my shoulder still. So I plan on going out there and showing it even more next time.
And my last question is, you've been pretty much to every organization, had success. Now you're here in the PFL. And if you're able to reach the pinnacle and win a championship here, what does this say about the legacy of Julia Budd?
I think it's like, obviously it's a goal of mine, and it would be a huge accomplishment, and but it's like it would just be huge, and it's something that's on my list of like, I want to do that before I retire. I want to be the champ. I feel like I'm starting to really understand this format. I was with Bellator for so long, and I'm really liking PFL, and I want to be the champs, and that's all that I can say. Like I'm here for it. So.
Roll from Undisputed World MMA. I saw how you were like going back and forth and standing up. Did your opponent kind of surprise you standing up with you? Because did you ever think that you would like knock her out? Or had expectations of knocking her out?
Well, I knew she was a great kickboxer. She caught me in the first round, and so hats off to her for that. But you got to do more than that. That's not going to put me down. And I came forward. I pushed the pace. I did what I had to do, and I caught her. I rocked her in the third round. And I just feel like that's the champion. I have a champion's heart, and you just gotta keep pressing forward when things get tough.
As you were pressing forward, do you feel during the fight like I knew I got it? I just knew in the fight you knew you had it. You just had that sense.
No, I didn't know, because I've had a couple. I didn't know, because you never know what the judges are gonna do. Like, you can't trust them at all. Obviously, you've probably seen that lots of MMA fighters talking about that, but. So I knew I had to really push it and work to get that finish, and I was going for it in the third round, but I'm happy with the decision.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Julia, you've been in there with the who's who your entire career. You've won belts in other organizations. I mean, what keeps that fire burning inside to just keep going, just try to achieve new heights?
I think it's just, obviously, it's lit. Like, I always have a fire burning. I'm always motivated, and I just feel like I'm not done, and that's kind of just been my go-to. I want to prove that you can come back and be a champion again after losing your championship belt, and that's kind of just what keeps me going. Also, my family, I want to do it for my family. Lance Gibson Jr. is fighting it for Bellator. I want to show him that losses don't stop you. You got to keep coming back, and that's just kind of my mentality. So yeah.
So as a competitor, you've got that gut instinct after a competition, or even like a roll in the gym, if you got the better of that person or if they got the better of you. after this fight was done, before the judges read the decision, gut instinct, did you feel like you defeated them?
Oh yeah, I knew I did enough in the second, third, but again, you never know with the judges. But obviously, it's like it was like even though I knew I won, I wanted to do more. I was like, oh man, I could have done this. I could have done. There's like a list of things in my mind that I was already like, I'm already planning to go back to the gym and train. So that's just me.
And lastly, I believe, I don't want to assume, but correct me if I'm wrong, Atlanta is drastically different from where you're from. How are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it here, actually. I was like, when coming over and seeing how green it was and beautiful. I've been in Arizona, which is also beautiful, but I've been there for the last like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So seeing all that greenery, it was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm back in DC. So it was really beautiful coming here. And yeah, I've enjoyed myself.
Congrats, Julia.
Thank you.
Back over here to Curtis.
Julia, one more from me.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on something. Obviously, from the beginning of your career to now, women's MMA has really taken off. I want to get your thoughts on that. Like, what's it been like seeing the rise of women's MMA? And what do you feel like needs to happen to continue that growth of that aspect of the sport?
I think just keep giving us the like keep fighting like in all the top organizations, and we put on these amazing fights. But I got asked, actually, I was mad. I got asked before this fight about the depth of the women's 145 division. I was like, hey, we're like the OGs of MMA. We were actually what brought all the eyes to the MMA world. Gina Carano, Ronda, that was all 145ers. And I'm kind of sick of hearing like there's not a lot of 145ers. There's a ton of us. We're really good. And we're actually who brought the eyes over. So, yeah, I'm happy. Obviously, the more successful the women do in all weight classes, the better. But yeah, I'm kind of sick of hearing about, well, there's not enough 145 depth. There is.
Yeah. Congrats again.
Thank you.
And our last few, Chet.
Hey Julia, congrats
Hi.
on the win.
Thank you.
Just one for me. So you already mentioned you want that alternate spot. Well, let's
Yeah.
say that doesn't happen. PFL's still going to put on a championship at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there's a big name out there. You fought a ton of legends. There's one big that has been bandied about. Would
Yeah.
you be interested in maybe facing Kayla Harrison if you can't get into the
Yeah.
tournament?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely 100%.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anybody else before we wrap?
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for
guys.
the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.